And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning. We also have the boys from the hunting and fishing side of our show, InShore Society, here in studio. We're going to talk with Matt Fonk, Cavalier Estates LLC. This show is designed to help you win in any marketplace. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. We want to help you win. And we want you to pull out your smartphone and save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894.
Baby, don't forget my number.
All right, yeah, and so let's go ahead and make our introductions. Back in studio, Mr. Matthew Fonk, Cavalier Estates LLC, property management expert, partner, and expert contributor. Welcome back in.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good day. How you doing?
Excellent. Things great, man. Got a new book out there.
Yes, sir. Thanks for acknowledging it. We're going to get talking about it here in a little bit, and all on property management.
Excellent. Yep, excellent. Great place to be as a owner of real estate properties. You know, strong rental market and
super strong right now, and you want to be careful of everything you do. Make sure you don't put yourself in a position to get in trouble.
That's right. That is right. And also, Captain Kenny and Captain Cristian are in studio as well. InShore Society. Captain, what's new, man? How you doing?
Brandon, good to be back. Good to see you guys again. Basically, it's summertime and gets hot out there. A lot of boats on the water. Talk about some safety and some local fishing reports too as well.
Absolutely, sounds good. I've been checking out your Instagram. You guys are killing it out there lately.
Yeah, we've been getting on them.
Yeah, fishing's been great.
Captain Cristian.
Yeah, we'll have a local fishing report, and we'll also be talking about what the hot bite is out there in Tampa Bay.
That's awesome. Yep, looking forward to it. And this segment is brought to you by my health team, consisting of Michael Vogt. He's an expert massage therapist here in Tampa Bay with Back in Health Massage. He's located at 3750 Gun Highway in Tampa, right there at Dale Mabry and Gun Highway. Back in Health Massage, top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay, as voted by the readers of the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards. Multiple time winner is Michael Vogt, expert massage therapist here in Tampa Bay. Does a great job helping me stay in great shape and feeling good, and does some awesome stretching as well with massage. And also part 2 of my health team is Ray Milton with Ray's Vegan Soul, where I'll hit you with a flavor. That's his tagline, Ray's Vegan Soul. Shout out to Ray Milton over there. Does a great job. Cooks these awesome meals for me, organic foods. I bring them with me and in the vehicle, and that way I'm not pulling into those fast food restaurants, and I'm able to live that lifestyle that I want to live, as well as being healthy. So, what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? And so, it's very important to engage our health team. And by the way, all of our expert contributors are located on our website at realestateradiotampa.com. Just click on the Expert Contributors tab. You'll be able to see all the information about all of our expert contributors. Again, over 80 show partners now with our Real Estate Quarterback Show, as well as the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we all want to enlighten, entertain, educate, and engage in an effort to help you win no matter what you're looking at. And we talked about, in recent shows, a record $3 trillion was wiped out from the global markets this past week in a 2-day stunt. So, we're talking about alternative investments, ways that you can diversify your portfolio as well in yesterday's show. And we're going to kind of carry on some of that with Matt Fonk as well, Cavalier Estates LLC here, property management partner with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And before we jump into this great content, I want to touch on a couple of hot listings that we've got. We've got a 13235 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 409 in Madeira Beach, beautiful Madeira Beach, and the Madeira Bay Resort 2 condo. It's 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, and it's listed at $239,000. Great buying opportunity for this condo tail. There's great income that's coming into this unit, and you can use it when you want and rent it out when you don't need to be there yourself. And it's right across the street, right on Gulf Boulevard. You got the view of beautiful Gulf of Mexico. Somewhere sunny at 75. And also got an open house going on this weekend as well on Sunday at 4618 West Beach Park Drive in Tampa, 33609. Great zip code in Tampa Bay. It's in the Beach Park zip code. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 1 half bath, over 2,550 square feet heated at 4618 West Beach Park Drive in Tampa, 33609. Listed at $799,000. Great buying opportunity. Beautiful, immaculate, well-kept home, pool home there in Beach Park. And right around the corner on 414 South Royal Palm Way is our property, our featured listing property of the month. It's 414 South Royal Palm Way, that is, and the 33609. It's in Beach Park. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, over 4,800 square foot heated, listed at $1.195 million. Great buying opportunity here. 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. So we're back here live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa here, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can find us right here. And we're also on the weekends on 102.5 The Bone. Now, by the way, you can watch the live stream as well from our website, realestateradiotampa.com. Just click on the live stream. You can watch us live here in studio. And you can also check it out on one of our partners as well, Tampa Bay Multimedia. Has WeBeam TV as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the conversation here. Matt got this new book out, Property Management, a guide for the DIY manager, the do-it-yourself manager.
Hey, right. I wrote the book. I don't want people to let their properties crush them, and that can happen. You think real estate, buy a house, fix it up, rent it out, and make money, and that's the goal.
Right.
But you can have your tail handed to you on a silver platter sometimes, and it can cost you a lot of money if you don't do things right. And it could be simply just saying the wrong thing to the tenant when they're looking at the property. So I wrote the book to give some people some insight on what to kind of be aware of out there. And if you go through the book, it's kind of neat. You don't have to read the book straight through. You can go and pick a chapter and read it and talk about how it started for me or the property manager, their goals, about the tenants, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We talk a little bit about marketing, maintenance, reports, legal compliance. Pets, companion animals, and service animals is a big one. And believe it or not, pests are crazy. I mean, there's a whole thing on drain flies, and you'd think you just pour bleach down the drain to get rid of them, but it don't work that way.
No.
So yeah, and pests are pests, and bed bugs are definitely a big thing on the rise. With the restrictions of certain chemicals nowadays that we had 30 years ago. They almost eradicated bed bugs in the U.S., but they've come back in pretty full force. So
wow.
But read the book. It's all about property management. It should give everybody a little bit of a taste on what to look for. And to give you an example, when you have maintenance on a property, you don't think much of it till you're into it. But I always tell people, you want to take a property, if the rents are going to give you $1,000 a month, be realistic and throw $500 aside in a bucket. And that should cover your taxes, your insurance, maintenance, future vacancies. Maintenance could be $100 here or there on a repair, but you might get handed a water heater, and that'll be anywhere from $8,000 to $1,000 depending on how you get it done.
Yep.
A roof, they can be anywhere from $4,000 to $15,000 depending on the size of the house, how many peaks and valleys. Insurance is not cheap, but it can be cheap. It just depends how big the house is. 2, 3-bedroom houses, 2-car garage are most ideal properties to rent out. You get involved in these 4 or 5-bedroom houses, 2-story, and you got to replace carpet. Boy, it gets expensive real quick, and you got to do a paint job if you don't have the right tenants in there to care for it. So we talk a little bit about that. And, HOAs. You were just mentioning before the show about HOAs, how they can kill a deal on real estate.
Yep.
They can really make your life miserable when it comes to renting. And they treat renters differently, unfortunately, just because they're renting, which is sad. Most renters are really great people. We qualify them. They have to qualify them, too. So there's 2 background checks, which is ridiculous. I don't like that, but they do it anyway. And, they have rules. Sometimes they're different than a regular owner. So, you need to be aware of that. We've got people that bought properties, rented them out, and they've canceled a lease not knowing that the townhome HOA doesn't allow them to re-rent that property for 1 year.
Wow.
So it has to stay vacant for the remaining of that lease until they can re-rent it.
What's the purpose of a rule like that?
Oh, they don't want you to rent. They don't want you to rent your unit out.
That's
It's
crazy.
it's horrible. And a lot of these went into effect after 06 or 08 when the market crashed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these condos, they couldn't sell the units, so they turned into rentals. And you get the wrong president who gets they get the Napoleon complex. I mean,
Right.
they want to be king, and unfortunately it just you can't
it
rule
happens.
that way. You got to be realistic, and they're just people with nothing else better to do but to harm people. So we talk a little bit about that, and the reserves, like I mentioned before, you got to have reserves on a property. If you don't have reserves and you own one rental property, you're going to end up getting a little cut short. But if you end up having 2 or 3 properties and you really run the reserves good, you can always use income from one property to help out the other one when you do have it down for repairs and so forth.
Yep.
Which makes it nice.
Well, when we come back, let's talk about how you can get your book. I imagine it's probably on Amazon and some of the different sites. We'll touch on that. We'll let our listeners know about that, as well as we're going to bring the fellas in the conversation. Captain Kenny and Captain Cristian from InShore Society are here in studio with us as well. We're going to get that fishing report and go over some boater safety tips and talk about some fishing here in Tampa Bay, some eco tours, and more from Matt Fonk as well, Cavalier Estates LLC, talking about property management here on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. So stay with us, Real Estate Radio Tampa.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Tampa Bay Business Journal, The Tribune, multiple times recognized for innovations with marketing, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties, as well as a former USF football player here, played on the inaugural team under Coach Levitt. Check out our YouTube channel. We got some really good interviews on our YouTube channel as well, and we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. We've had all the local mayors on the show. We had Grant Cardone, Jarek Robbins, who as well is coming on the show coming back on the show here in August coming up, and some really good content. Coach USF, former USF football coach Jim Levitt is on the show, as well as all of our expert contributors. So any type of area that you want to learn more about. If you want to learn more about credit, look for William Crawley, the Credit Magician, on there. I mean, so many ways that we can help you live a better life. That's the goal of this show. That's why we started this whole thing, is to help entertain, educate, enlighten, and engage in an effort to help you win. because let's face it, there's a lot of nonsense and sensationalism out there in the mainstream media, and we want to be different and help you win. So let's go ahead back here in studio. We're going to hear from the fellas, Captain Kenny and Captain Cristian with InShore Society here in a moment. But I want to go back to Matt Fonk here and talk a little bit more about his book and how you can get a copy of it.
Yeah, appreciate you letting me come on and talk a little bit about it, Brandon. You know, it's mattfonk.com is where you can pick it up. It's mattfonk.com. The site's a little bit under construction, but we're in pre-sale right now, and you can get an autographed copy with free shipping. It'll be on there, and then the price will go up, I think, after August 1st. We haven't set it all in stone, but they're ready. They're live through produced through Amazon and so forth, so it is a good place to pick it up. Also got a Facebook page, Matt Fonk, again, MattFonk, and there's a link on there. You can buy it right now for pre-sale. So, you know, the book is really just out there to be informative, to help people in the industry, and I've got some links in the back. They can always contact me. My name and number's in there. So we just, if I can be of help, great to anybody in the Tampa Bay area, awesome. I'm not out to, you know, be tough on the business or anything. We just want to be helpful. Right. And spread the word.
Yes, and you've been managing properties a number of years, and you have something close to a couple hundred doors, I believe, under management currently. Is that right?
Yeah, I manage over $12 million in single-family homes with the slight of a few multi-unit buildings, 9 units or 2 units or 4 units or 6 units, but majority is single-family homes, and it's that is my cup and tea. And I've got my bread and butter, if you will, and it's in all sorts of neighborhoods. So we're well versed in every different neighborhood and how to make things work and run smooth. We work with Section 8 and HUD. We work with different housing authorities to help with veterans and place them. A lot of people struggling to find places. So these 1-bedroom units that we do manage really work well for a lot of these guys, get them back on their feet. And they're just really grateful people. So we enjoy helping people. I get excited about seeing that. And my book here overall is just to help people that's a manager. So a lot of people do things wrong, and they don't tend to do things wrong, but if this helps them do things a little bit better, it's better for the tenants. It makes us look good as landlords. Landlords are always get a bad rap. Yeah. And we're not all bad. Yeah. You know, there are bad tenants out there that really beat us down.
Yeah, so they play the system. They know all the games to play. And, they'll strategically default, and they'll do things. But I love the idea. The whole premise is that, hey, you know, we have this abundance mentality around here at the Real Estate Quarterback Show and our sister company, the Consumer Quarterback Show, and it's all about, you know, making the pie bigger for everyone. You know, and if we can help other people, we know that ultimately it's going to come back to us.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, property management, people don't think about it, but the owner has an investment. And this has helped you, you know, really refine that investment so it does produce for you over time. Right. And if you don't take care of it, you wouldn't just not take care of your stocks. You would kind of watch them. If things were getting a little out of shape, you'd move the money. Well, the property, you can transfer 1031 exchange to different properties, better areas, or fix the property, get a better steward, one that moves into the property and takes care of it for you. So there's different things you can do. And you can always drive by that asset and see it, and it should produce long term. So
yeah, it's a great, you know, it's an insurable asset. It's something that you can have an insurance policy. So worst case scenario, fire, flood, you know, whatever it might be, the asset is insurable. On yesterday's show, we had Mark Spence, and we also had Advanta IRA Scott Maurer talking about how you can take advantage of these low rates. The rates just took another huge dip in the market with the Brexit vote, with the European stuff happening over there. So, you know, our rates are low. It's a great time to get into home ownership. And we talked about rentals as well. You know, these renters out there, you know, the rental market is basically so inflated in terms of what a landlord can get in terms of rent.
Yeah, they're high.
Why don't you talk about that for a little bit?
Well, rents are high. I just did this summer. I mean, we put it on the market, boom, it's gone. People are like, can I give you money now? I haven't even seen it. Every time I get down here, they're gone. House is gone. I mean, brand new houses, we're renting them. Yep. Way up in Citrus, Spring Hill, we rented a couple brand new homes in brand new neighborhoods before they even finished the property, the HOA and that. So rents are up. I've got tenants that I've raised rents on, and they're yelling and complaining, but they come back and they say, okay. And we're not trying to gouge them. We'll just go $15, $20 or 2 to 3% or whatever we can get to be realistic. But they can't find anything else to move into as cheap as what ours are still at, even with the increase. Right. So it is a renter, it is a landlord market right now. And if you can't afford to buy, you're going to rent. And there's nothing wrong with renting. Rent until you got the cash to really put a good down payment on a house. Get a hold of Brandon. He'll get taken care of and get a house at that point in time. But transition. You don't have to go straight into ownership.
I think a lot of people also are forced into that category because of what happened with the bust and the Great Recession. There's so many people that had loan modifications, short sales, foreclosures, bankruptcies. We had Ronald Brace with Brace Accounting on the show a few weeks back, and he was just saying out of, I think it was like 1,800 tax returns he did this year, he came out of the season feeling still a little bit somber overall as what he saw in terms of tax returns with the bankruptcies and the short sales deal. So he saw it, and I know it's kind of a small sample size, but still 1,800 tax returns. And he was saying, Brandon, it's still, I think a lot of people still aren't doing as good as maybe some of the numbers that are reported on the networks. Well,
so you can rent on the water. My brother-in-law is living down in somewhere down in South St. Pete on a really nice property with a boat lift. He's got his boat out back. He don't own it. He couldn't have bought that for what he rents it for. Right. So people got to realize you can move around. Hey, I don't like this place. I'll go rent somewhere else and up your game.
Yep. And if you're a landowner out there and you want to maybe look at hiring, Matt, Cavalier Estates LLC, very well respected in the industry. Reach out to him, let him, take that off of your plate. Maybe you're kind of a demographic bucket that might be aging a little bit. You don't want to deal with
burnt out landlords,
tenants, toilets,
headaches,
and termites.
tenants.
That's what they say. Yep. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring the fellas into the conversation. We got Captain Kenny and Captain Cristian in here as well from InShore Society. So, what you been seeing out there, man?
Well, it is. We're in the midsummer months now, so it's busier. We got a lot of vacationers down here, and the water gets really busy. So you want to be safe out there and take all precautions safely and go about it the right way. About boating, at least the right way. But
right.
In regards to fishing, it's been hot out there, so it was best to get a real early start. We're starting even earlier than we have in the past, so. Fish tend to shut down a little bit later in the day because it's just sweltering hot out there, and it just becomes a bit of a sauna. So these fish they push up under mangroves, try to cool off, and they really just don't have a lot of activity. They're more real early or nocturnal eaters during the night. So we've been getting on them pretty good, as you've seen on some of our Instagram pictures and stuff.
Yeah, you got to follow these guys on Instagram. What's the handle?
It's just our company name, InShore Society. You could just search it, or you could hashtag InShore Society. I'm sure you'll be able to find some of our stuff on there too as well. Some
cool videos and some great catches there. Going and we went some time back, but we went out and caught a handful of fish. I think it was a little bit slower day that day, but in Tampa Bay, you look at Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. You guys are focusing more on the upper Tampa Bay, kind of this inshore side of it.
Yes, we're mainly inside the bay, probably St. Pete, downtown St. Pete to all the way upper Tampa Bay, north of the Courtney Campbell. We can cover all that ground. We focus on that, but I think Captain Cristian had you out that day with your daughter. You guys were getting on some fish before that storm came in, and that
was for the air show.
Yeah, that's what it was. That was awesome.
Rained out.
But it's just key, like I said, to these mornings, just getting out there early, and that's the way. Sometimes you have a slow bite, and you just gotta work for your clients, and we always do that.
But back to where you were saying where we're located, we're Tampa Harbor Marina, right next to Hula Bay.
Yeah.
So we're pretty centrally located. Anyone could take Gandy. You could take any main avenue to come over. Especially we've had clients that were staying in Clearwater, and they come over and we'll meet them at the marina, and they have a good time fishing.
Yeah, it's a good place to be because those fish, I believe, they're going to want to come up in that upper Tampa Bay part because it's a little bit warmer waters. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, especially during wintertime, that's more of a focus. Definitely these fish move up into the bay because there's warmer sections in there, so they do that. Summertime right now, they're everywhere. They're all spread out. South.
Tampa Bay is fishable year-round.
Yes.
and when we come back also, let's talk a little bit about for the non-fishermen out there, you guys also do some eco tours. We're going to talk about that, other options that you have to engage. Captain Kenny and Captain Cristian here with InShore Society, conveniently located again right there by our restaurant partner, Hula Bay, down in South Tampa. Great location right off of Tyson there in South Tampa, just off of West Shore Boulevard and south of Gandy. But yeah, stay with us. We're going to talk more with the fellas about some fishing, InShore Society. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty here in Tampa Bay. We are looking for sales associates as well. We're looking to bring on a few good sales associates, buyer agents, got a plethora of leads coming in from the massive growth that we're seeing here with our Real Estate Quarterback Show, the media arm of our brokerage, and so many positive things happening here in Tampa Bay. This segment is brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a wonderful job cleaning our real estate properties, and that's 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service here in Tampa Bay. They do a wonderful job for us. And we're back here in studio. We're talking with Matt Fonk, Cavalier Estates LLC. We're talking with Captain Kenny, Captain Cristian from InShore Society. And before we jump back into this great content, I want to touch on just a couple of hot listings. And this is kind of a waterfront property here. It goes along with the fishing theme here. And it's at 0 Point Seaside Drive in Crystal Beach. This is on the Ogden Bayou in Crystal Beach. And the owners are very motivated on this vacant lot. You can build your dream home on this beautiful lot. And there are, you're surrounded by multi-million-dollar listings here, or properties rather, at 0 Point Seaside Drive in Crystal Beach. $299,000 is the new price on this, just reduced over $180,000. And now we also have another property here in Riverview at 8203 U.S. Highway 301 South in Riverview. This is a $650,000 commercial opportunity. Great building. It's currently set up as a restaurant. And you've got over 1,900 square feet, 30 parking spaces, and it's right next to the Alafaya River at 8203 U.S. Highway 301 South in Riverview. $650,000. Great buying opportunity. So for this or any of your questions relating to real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, over 80 partners with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We want you to check out realestateradiotampa.com. Or give us a call on our hotline, 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
917-1894. All right, so before the break, we were talking about some other options. If they're not an avid fisherman out there, they don't want to get out there and wet a line. You have some other options for them.
Definitely, yeah. We do offer eco tours, which is where we kind of take our clients on like a nature preserve area where they could sightsee. Birds. We've actually been out there. We were fishing and we saw like a 300-pound manatee just come like in a foot of water.
Wow.
We were like,
sneak up on you too.
Yeah. So you got manatees
in that shallow water.
Just he was just coming across the flats.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like he sneaked up on us. They're like.
We were on the edge. We were kind of on the edge of a flat in the channel, and they tend to stick in those channels.
Oh.
So we were just on that edge, and I think he just came up real shallow, see what's going on.
That's pretty cool.
So you could do some nature sightseeing, and we could look for dolphins. But it's a nice way to just relax, and again, you don't have to have the rods in your hand to have a good time on the water.
That's right, yeah. Enjoy the outdoors, get out there, take advantage of this beautiful sunshine we have here in Tampa Bay, and go out there. And one of the last times I was out on the boat too, we saw a beautiful sea turtle. Just a great, beautiful sized sea turtle, just kind of chilling right there. And of course, when we kind of went by, he took off.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Stingrays, get some stingrays out there.
You see the big ones jump every once in a while too, which is really a cool sight to see.
Which ones?
Usually like the manta rays, or even some of the bigger size rays. They're literally either avoiding a predator or they're just jumping.
Jumping out of the water.
Interesting.
You see them. It's pretty cool. They get pretty high out of the water.
We saw
too.
a big
It's quite
school
the
of
sight.
stingrays out of John's Pass the other day.
Kind of on top of the water.
Yeah, like they were coming right out of the channel right there.
Yeah.
As you're coming under the bridge heading, I guess, westbound.
Yeah, when they're in that deeper water, they sometimes come up for that, like sunbathing almost. And there'll be huge schools of them on top of the water, just kind of cruising. Sometimes we'll go right over them on a boat on accident, not even seeing them. It's just like, whoa, look at all that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk about back to the fishing side. So, what's a typical catch? Somebody wants to go out fishing. You guys take them out for the day. You're going to put them on some fish. What's a typical catch? What are we looking at bringing in the boat?
Yeah, well, we always try to target, being that we're in inshore, we try to target the big three, trout, redfish, and snook. But we always try to find fish that are biting too as well. Whether some days you have slower days and the snook and trout or the redfish aren't really hot, so you gotta get some lines tight and you go find other fish. And like the Spanish mackerel are always a great fish to fight. They always run off of drags.
Yeah.
Good eating too. So if you do want to take meat home, it's a great fish to eat too as well. Jack crevalles are fun as well. They pull on the line really hard as well. But yeah,
what about permit? You ever have permit up here? Or is that further south?
Permit or they're a little bit more south.
Yeah, some wrecks.
Yeah, they're on wrecks. They do get on the flats too as well, but that's kind of a little bit more south. I mean, you can get on some permit down by like Fort DeSoto and Egmont and Anna Maria. I've heard some wrecks out there that hold them, but that's another species of fish that's really awesome too. So.
I got a picture last week sent to me. My daughter was fishing with her stepdad and them on the other. I think it was around Dunedin, Clearwater, and she caught a good size shark. I think it was like a Mako shark. I mean, it was a good size. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're it's that time of year too. They got those warm waters, so a lot of the sharks.
Every time we go to catch bait, we get black tips or bonnet heads that just start circling the.
Oh, really?
Circling the boat, and we're like, "Hey, we're trying to avoid them,"
We caught them in the net a couple times.
Oh, really?
But they sneak out. Yeah, they go out the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's funny. If you just joined us, you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Here we're talking with Captain Kenny, Captain Cristian here, InShore Society. Take you out, put you on some fish, have a good time for either a morning or you could do half day, full day, and also do eco tours if you're not interested in fishing per se. You go out there and do some beautiful wildlife watching, bird watching. Check out some of the manatee, the stingrays, the different types of wildlife, turtles, sea turtles, and a lot of cool stuff to do out there. Yeah. I was going to ask you, what about this recent phenomenon? My daughter's also a surfer. They go surfing on the East Coast a lot of time. What's your take on that? And then of course we had the gator that took a bite over there in Orlando. I can't think of much sadder than that. But is there anything you do, or is it just now that we're we have this 24/7 media cycle? It's just like we're finding and seeing everything out, just like we do with the politics of this country. Mm-hmm. What's your take on sharks and gators?
Well, as a born and raised Floridian, it's kind of common sense to us. But I think in that situation where the gator did, unfortunately take that kid's life, they're not from here. I think that was Nebraska. I think what I read where they're from. So they might not be educated on that. And again, they are in a Disney resort, so they probably might not have thought there was some type of predator like that could do that to their child. So,
right.
So they might have been a little oblivious to that, or just did not think that could even be a situation that goes down. But
what could you do differently? I mean, you're just out. You're out of the lake, just chilling out. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it was nighttime. I know.
Was it?
I know personally, I might not let my kid swim in the water that time of night.
Gators eat is nighttime.
We're in their realm, so you kind of have to respect that it's their area too,
right?
Where they live. But again, they might not have known something like that was in the water. But personally, I probably keep my kids out of the water after night. So
there's going to be a lawsuit coming down on that one, I guess.
Yeah.
I would guess. I don't know. I haven't read any papers, but I mean, even though it was, there's both
there's
sides
some
of the
rules
story.
that come in play with that type of a thing, because it's an act of God, but yet they could have had some signs up. They didn't say anything about be aware of gators. They just said no swimming, and they didn't say no wading. So I'm sure they're going to look at it from many angles, unfortunately.
Yeah, and this litigious society we're in. Oh, yeah. I grew up in a small town east of Fort Myers called LaBelle, as you know, down by Fort Myers, Immokalee, Belglade. One of my good friends in school actually played. He was a baseball on our team. He played tight end, great athlete, got drafted by the Devil Rays. But anyways, I digress there. But his family, they raise gators. I mean, they they were down in Felda. That's what they had, a gator house. They raised them from egg hatchings all the way up to 6 feet. So I know a lot about gators. I've been around them, but I just think again, it's kind of back to the microscope that we're all under these days. There's security cameras everywhere. There's so it seems like we see every bit of sensationalism that can be sent, and it what are the numbers of are you more likely to die in a plane crash or an alligator or a shark? Yeah. I think those are all kind of in the same category of one in millions, Yeah. And then sometimes people just get too scared about it, but you got to be precautious. So any words of advice on that? I mean, sharks, let's talk a little bit about that maybe.
Yeah, in regards to sharks, I mean, I actually even haven't heard of that many attack reports this summer, which is like pretty much the feeding grounds for that. They just get real aggressive, and they'll come up on the beaches too as well, because they're just looking for food. Right. It's just natural. I don't think they intend to take a bite out of us, but I just think
Right.
they think it's some type of form of food. So that's
When it's on the
kinda
surfboard
happens.
too, it looks like a seal. or
Yeah,
whatever,
too.
you
I
know.
mean, I know you can't do a whole lot of surfing on this coast, but East Coast they get a little bit bigger swells.
Yeah.
And,
New Smyrna Beach is
Yeah.
a place that my brothers and them they go all the time. They're over in the Sanford area. But yeah, that's, and I guess it's where the inlets are coming out. You got running water. Is that a good place
Yeah.
to avoid when there's
yeah,
running water?
I would say definitely the passes and those inlets where they could flush in and out.
Right.
So it's pretty much like a highway. I
Right.
mean, that's how they come in and out of the sounds and then
Exactly.
the Gulf. So maybe
Okay.
don't swim in the middle there.
There's a consumer tip for you.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll come back with more from our experts here in studio. We're also going to hear more from Matt Fonk, Cavalier Estates LLC, property management guru, a guide for the DIY manager. Don't get crushed by your properties, written by Matt Fonk. So stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. And we're here live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Florida here. And we're talking with some experts here in studio, Intelligent Talk Radio. We got some intelligent folks here in studio with us. We're talking with Matt Fonk, Cavalier Estates LLC, property management expert. We also got the fellas here from the InShore Society. We're talking with Captain Kenny and Captain Cristian about boater safety. Got that fishing report for you. And we're also going to be plugging our sponsor here. This shout out is to Greg Geyer over at Printing Solutions, Inc. Greg does a great job printing a lot of our business cards, postcards, flyers, mailers, and his website is digitalprintingsource.com. Shout out to Greg Geyer, Printing Solutions, Inc., and does a great job of taking care of us, pop-up banners, any type of print marketing that you can need. give Greg a shout out. Check him out at digitalprintingsource.com. And okay, we're back here in studio, and let's go ahead and switch gears. We're going to talk back here with Matt Fonk here, Cavalier Estates LLC. And so we talked about the book. We talked about how it can help people with their real estate decisions and how to get it. What else do we need to know?
Well, I think get the book and read it. I'll give the next 15 books away if you want. If somebody wants to call up and get it, just put in book, or PM book.
Yep.
Reports are very important when it comes to property management, and a lot of people don't get the reports from their property manager as they should. And keeping track of the numbers that comes in and out is huge. I've got a couple owners that have come on with me. They're like, God, he goes, just seems like everything's costing me money and money and money. Well, everything we do, we account for. As an owner, a single guy, he don't take every receipt and put it in the system. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I go buy an air freshener for an empty unit, there's $2-3 there. And he's like, oh, my vacancies are a little bit higher or they're lower. It's just been when I was doing it. Well, if he actually went back and looked, I bet you it's better than what it was. It's just a lot of times they think that they can do it better themselves.
Yeah.
But when they sit down and they look at the reports and they really can take that scorecard and see, that's where it really dials in. So if anybody's running a report, just have a checkbook ledger. Make sure everything goes in and everything that goes out is written down so you can really understand.
That's right. Yeah, there's so many people that want to try to save a little bit of commission or a little bit of rent money, and they try to do the old FSBO, right? The for sale by owners, or they're going to manage their own properties. But you can really take advantage of economies of scale, especially us as real estate agents that are looking to sell your property, or Matt and his team that are going to help you manage the properties. There's efficiencies that they have in place. There's years of knowledge that are going to help you avoid the common mistakes. And obviously that's what the show's about, is helping people win in any marketplace. So you had an offer there. You're going to give away some books.
I'll give away 15 books.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, for the next week, anybody calls up and wants a book, we'll work with it.
Okay. Yeah. Hit us up on the hotline if you would like a copy of this property management book written by Matt Fonk. He's a published author. He is a property management expert, a guide for the DIY manager. Don't get crushed by your properties. Go ahead and send a text at 813-917-1894. Just let us know you want the book. Also, submit the form at realestateradiotampa.com. You could submit the form. Comes right through like an email directly to myself and my team. And our promise is that we're going to get back to you before our head hits the pillow that same day. So reach out for a free copy of the book. And let's go around the horn. Let's go ahead and enter our lightning round here. And we're going to go around the horn and do our top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. All right, Matt, let's start with you here. Top consumer tip.
Don't pull a lease off the counter. Don't go to Staples or Office Depot, get a lease. If you're in Florida, get with evict.com. Harry Heiss, he's got it. He'll do it. He'll take care of it. Talk to a guy who's written a lease. Don't use a paper lease that you just took off from a friend, anything. Do it right. Keep yourself out of trouble. That's all I got to tell you. Do it right. Hire the pros.
Yep, have foresight and foresee what could potentially happen. And go ahead, Captain Kenny, top consumer tip.
Definitely when choosing a charter captain, when you're doing research and you're looking to book a trip, definitely do your research, look at reviews, make sure this captain is insured and has all the proper licensing.
Right, yeah. Licensed, bonded, insured if it's applicable. Check them out. Check the reviews. All right, Captain Cristian.
Yeah, to add on that, you want to see if that captain's been actually taking out clients. If you're seeing pictures of just him, then, there might be something going on there. You want to make sure there's other clients that are, showing that they're having a good time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Go online.
Check the reviews.
Check out the reviews. Make sure you're out. You're able to have a good time. You're going to spend some money. You're going out there, and you're, out there on the bay, and take them up, check them out. These days, it's so easy to go online and do reviews. Check people out.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of impersonators out there, so you always just want to make sure you're taking the safest route and getting what you're paying for. So
interesting, very cool. And so what about, let's do some safety tips here too, because I feel like we kind of touched on some of that with the sharks and the gators. I feel like that's such a, just kind of like a drama area for a lot of people, especially folks that don't know. It's unfortunate that it recently happened. We saw it with the Orlando thing, but when's the last time previous to that you've heard it? Like a gator. I grew up in the Caloosahatchee River, jet skiing or kneeboarding and tubing, and you would literally fall off and you'd see them over here, but they're over there. You're not. They're not going to come out. They're not a predator that's going to come chase you down like a lion would. Typically it's something where if you're falling on a mating season type of thing, or but yeah, let's see what else are you guys seeing out there?
We were going to talk about the hot bite. Like we were saying, we've been getting out early. 7:30 is kind of where we've been telling our clients so we could be done before noon.
Right.
And, we're not sweating, bullets out there with the heat. But we've been getting a lot of snook, 2 hours before the high tide, 2 hours as the tide's going out. It's been the best time. You want to have that moving water. Also, you could get on some Spanish mackerel if you find strong currents out there, and mangrove snapper as well.
What about the moon and stuff? Like when's a good time? Is it depending on the moon and some of the tides?
During the full moon time, they're going to be feeding better at night.
At night,
but other than that, you could.
And they don't bite the hook in the daytime. I found that out.
Yeah.
I usually like fishing 3 days after the full moon too as well. Or sometimes before that full moon, it's kind of slow because they're preparing to feed on that full moon. So
you get the stronger tides during that time too.
Yeah,
so
as well. But,
if you could,
it all has a factor. There's a lot that goes into it, but.
Yeah, but go with the pros. That's the reason why you want to reach out to the InShore Society here. Go with the pros. Let them put you on some fish. Have some fun out there. Enjoy this Tampa Bay. Recreation side of Tampa Bay is just it's matched. Any metropolis area you look at, there's not as much to do as Tampa Bay. There's really so much to do here. Yeah. And going back to the real estate side, Matt, we talk about the appreciation that we're seeing in Tampa Bay consistently. They come out with these national studies or statistics showing potential for a bubble or anything negative that the media can get a hold of. But really, when you break it down, you look at Bradenton, Sarasota, St. Pete, Clearwater, Tampa Bay, there's really no better place in the United States, in my opinion. I'm obviously biased here, but you look at the job market, you look at the diversification in jobs, you look at the infrastructure investment we've made recently and we're continuing to make. You look at Jeff Vinnick putting in a lot of money downtown and creating the first ever wellness district in the United States. And of course the sports teams, the professional teams, the fine dining and so much that we have here in Tampa Bay to offer.
Well, yeah, you can make a negative out of anything if you really want to and be a jerk about it. If everybody were to think positive and just keep a good open mind in any market, down, up, left, sideways, I don't care. Even if there is a bubble, you can find opportunities. Even if it's a down market, you find opportunities. Just keep a positive outlook. You bring negativity in any situation, it just kills the spirit. Yep. So you got to keep spirit going, even if it's high, because something's coming and it could come. You better, still say, what, it's here. We're going to get through it. But, you look at it. Everything is going to happen for a reason. It's going to be good. Everybody's going to be able to enjoy it. And downtown's being built up. Hey, have at it. It's good stuff. Be positive about it.
Yeah.
And it'll bring results.
Absolutely. Captain Kenny, parting words of advice.
In regards to
getting out there, getting early, reaching out to you, get out there on the boat.
Oh yeah,
enjoy
definitely.
Life,
if you're looking to book a trip with us, definitely, we'll get you on some fish and get you out there early to beat this heat.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. Cristian?
Yeah, we got summertime now. The kids are out, so get them at the couch. Tell them to put that controller down. Come pick up a rod, and you book a charter with us. We're gonna. We guarantee that you're going to have a great fishing experience.
Awesome. Yeah, that's right. I know there's fishing camps and stuff. I think my daughter's at some type of a camp today. It's not fishing, but it's a farm, some type of farm. Noah's Ark, I think.
Fishing camps are awesome.
Yeah.
It's great to get these kids started young and get them out there catching fish, too, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to thank Matt Fonk, Cavalier Estates LLC, for coming in. I want to thank Captain Kenny, Captain Cristian here with InShore Society, partners with the Consumer Quarterback Show, for coming in studio, educating our listeners out there, bringing these nuggets of advice. And we're having a lot of fun with you here in Tampa Bay every day, Monday through Friday, weekdays. You can find us here educating, engaging, and helping you live a better life. Also on the weekends, we have our weekend show on 102.5 The Bone at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. And we would love for you to follow us on Facebook /REQB show, on Twitter @BrandonRhymes1, as well as our YouTube channel. There's a plethora of information and other videos there as well. And please go out there and consider making a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time.